Excuse me. What on earth am I doing? Trying to get out of the habit of ever even bothering to use this pathetic mouse wheel. Drawing. I dreamt these out because I ran the program in the meantime. And I thought they would probably crash it, but anyway. So, I'd start to draw a little thing like this. And realizing I'd actually made mistakes with this already. This is like the number of the colours, maybe. The entries in the verts thing are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's my beautiful mouse handwriting. And so on. But the point is that to draw this square, I need 0 and 1, which is the bits I've filled in, 0 and 1, CV plus 0, CV plus 1. Then the triangle needs to draw to 2, 3, which is like CV plus 2 and CV plus 3. And that will hold up when CV becomes 2. It'll draw 2 and 3, then plus 2 to 4 and 5. So this is plus 2 and this is plus 3. But the next one is on the next line. And in this case, or the thing that lets me know what number it is the number of columns. So there's 3 columns. Well, the number I want is 8. This, 8. This vertex is 8 and 9 indexes further forward than the current index I'm considering, which is CV in my code. And 8 indexes forward is 1, 2, 3, 3 columns plus 1 for the number of actual divisions to make 4 times 2 for the number of entries required in each vertex. So it's columns plus 1 times 2. So columns plus 1 times 2. I think I'll maybe stick that in a little variable. Local cjump uint equals columns plus, oh, and I'll have to do this in brackets, columns plus 1 times 2. So I think that cjump and cjump plus 1, let me have a look. So for that top corner I'm going 0, 1, well the current one plus the current one plus 1, plus the current one plus 2, plus the current one plus 3, then to the current one plus 8, then the current one plus 9. In this case, I've got 3 columns, 4 divisions, 2 things for a division, which means 8. Generally, I won't know the number of columns, but I do have it in my columns variable. I'm drawing it like this initially. Maybe I'm better to draw it like that. It's just as easy. Well, I've already done the sums to do it this way, so what the heck. So now it's, I want to draw, well, I suppose this way has the advantage that I start both from the top left corner. In which case this would be C jump, CV plus C jump plus 2 and plus 3. So I'll do that instead. CV plus C jump plus 2, CV plus C jump plus 3. Now, hang on a sec. I shouldn't call it C jump, I should call it R jump. And R V for value. I hate coming up with names, because for what it's worth in here I will say RV equals CV plus R jump. So then this becomes RV plus 2 and RV plus 3. And I think it's probably worth doing that because then I use it a lot more again here. This is CV again and CV plus 1 because this triangle, as I'm doing it now, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way, so that just so they both start at the top left. There's not really a very good reason. So again it starts at 0, 1, then it goes to plus RV, so it's RV plus 2 and 3 again, because 2 and 3 I've kind of already, no, yeah, RV plus 2 and 3, not CV. That's silly of me. So then it goes to RV plus 2 and RV plus 3. Then it goes to RV and RV plus 1. RV being CV plus the row jump. And I think that's the two triangles. It's telling me everything is wrong with all that. Oh yeah, colours. So again, well, no, not again. Because I have a similar kind of quandary. Well, so it starts with the current colour. Then it's the current colour plus, like, columns plus 1. Then columns plus 2. No. Current colour, then current colour plus 1. Then current colour plus columns plus 2. Because with the colour, it goes up in 1. So it's a current colour, then the current colour plus 1. Then to go down to the bottom right of the square I want, it's a current colour plus, the current colour plus columns, which would take me to 1, 2, 3, plus 2 would take me to 1, 2. I think that is right. And in this case, it's back at the top left, so it's the current colour. Then it's plus columns plus 2. And then it's plus columns plus 1. And this is not until CV is greater than vert's length. It's until, and I'll find it out, local end last uint equals a, so So it's like verts length minus columns plus 1 times 2. I'm making a mistake here. Oh man. I really am. This way of doing it is a pain, because when I think about me stitching my way across this, doing it this way is just wrong, because I'm like counting through the vertices 2 by 2, so here, I start here, then I go here, then I go here. This one, no. Then I want to go here. Similarly, this whole bottom row, if this is a like 3 by 3, don't want to go to any of those. Don't want to go to there or there. Because I'm just drawing, like I'm trying to start from the top left of each cell and draw it. Oops. So I just don't think this makes sense. I think it makes more sense just to have like a nested for next loop going through columns and rows, and then just inside the for next loop finding a way to figure out. There's probably just a really simple sum. In fact, there is. Yeah, I already know. I've already used it, basically. Sort of. I've used something similar to it. It's like let me imagine. This is 0, you know, all my hardware. This is 0, 0. This is 0, 1. This is 0, 2. This is 1. No. This is 1, 0. This is 2, 0. This is 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. Well, I suppose, it simplifies it to make it a pair of nested for next loops, and I can still just use a counter. If I'm going y, through the y loop, then through the x loop, so it goes, through the x, then the nested loop is the x one, so it goes x, 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 y, x, 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 y, x, x, x. Then I could just increase an actual index by 1 each time. Well, no, yeah, just during the for next loop. Yeah, okay. I do begin to see this is it, and it will be still pretty much the same, actually. I'll be able to keep most of this, is what I mean. I won't have to redo the whole thing. For local r uint equals 0 until rows. For local c uint equals 0 until columns. Next. So still, CV starts at 0, CC starts at 0. From column to column, CV increases by 2, CC increases by 1. But come the end of a column, CV increases by 2 again, and CC increases by 1 again. And that should shoot it, push it off, so it gets starts at 0, does the first column, adds 2, does the second column, adds 2, does the third column, adds 2, adds 2, does the first column again, adds 2, does the second column. Am I really right about this? And by doing that, it will do the 9 squares. I'll do the 9 squares or however many squares, and I think it should not go out of bounds or out of range. Let me look at it for a second. Sure, I'm making some crazy mistakes here. Well, I am sure I'm making some crazy mistakes here. I've probably made loads of little mistakes in this. But maybe I should just go for it. And say hang the errors. I am in debug mode. Good. Okay. The first problem, you know, okay, let me first off make it a bit easier on it. First challenge is going to come when I open that gradient button. And it immediately crashes. Yep. And it's a totally hardcore crash as well. It's not even going to tell me, is it? Now, I did have the debugger on. Okay. That's a pretty weird crash, like to have absolutely nothing. Usually I would expect memory something violation. Let me see what happens. Let me see what I do. I go to draw mode options. Draw mode options call is nude. Nude. And somewhere up and down here, the gradient button exists. Gradient zone, gradient, CX, CY, button width, button height, gradient button, align sides. Okay. So in the gradient button, new, well, I changed quite a lot of this really, didn't I? Wonder where I am now. Okay. So, I guess what I put in is a debug right. I run it again. Now, what could be going wrong? I might be just making a silly mistake with this, like I might be doing something wrong. Actually, there's no real... Okay, well, G field created. You can see it there. Then it goes to finish resize. G field set size, face width, face height, face width minus border size times 2. take that out for just now. Oops. And I'm going to just see what happens if I build it again. Something like that will have to go back in. I'm just curious if that... No, that's fine. It was being called almost immediately prior anyway. My guess is that if it got through gfield created, then it's having a problem with draw. And if it's having a problem with draw, it may well just go totally tits up, because I am really, this is bad, what I'm doing. Not bad, it's just like destined to... There's no guarantee. The first thing I'm going to do, is I will put a copy of this in here. And I will make it just say 2. Because I may have got that sum wrong. Don't think so. But so this will just say, okay, you're only going to get 2 triangles, and there they are. Like, that's my first instinct. I shouldn't, I should be able to just say you're going to get a set amount, a largish amount, and here they are, which I will be able to at some point by getting that sum right. 3, 2, pretty sure that's... Well, I feel like it got further there. Because the button came up, but clearly not really. Yes, thank you. Okay, also all of these need to be x plus and y plus. But that won't be causing it to crash. I don't think. Like, cannot possibly be. But if this is pushing, well, why don't I just go debug print? I'm expecting this to only get one chance to be called, if at all. CV plus string of CV plus something else. CC plus string of CC. So I am going to see if one of these creates an array out of bounds problem. I'm going to see if any of this occurs. I'm going to give my... Look at that. When the frame rate drops, it has problems. Anyway, let's see what you do when I click. Okay, didn't get there once. That's all right in a way, because it might mean first off that there's no problem with this code. And for what it's worth, I'll take this out just now. But I've no idea where it's getting to. Like, I don't think it's getting to draw, because none of this should be a problem, even if all of this is craziness. So, before it gets to draw, what else does it do? Gradient button new. this happens, finish resize, inside finish resize, I took away the only association finish resize had with it, and it would have had no immediate difference. Finish resize really is about arranging the text. In this instance, I just created the G field to be the correct size. New G field equals new gradient, field width, field height, 2, 2, columns and rows. So, and it got to here without crashing. I'll just make sure it gets to the end of this. Debug, right. Finish, resize, call. Then I have to move on to the next thing to think about. All I should be seeing is a white square. Oh, don't be so troublesome. Yep, and finish resize called. Okay. So basically it got to the end of here. And that is created inside draw mode options. I see no reason. Left, right, low and high. This is a strange decision. I'm gonna make it low. Anyway, okay. Well, I don't see a problem with that. And after that, the only thing that it then does, I suppose update gadgets is called. Oh, that's so painful, this. Gradient button, set gradient, project gradient set. Okay, that's probably what's causing it a problem. Let's just take that out. So, setting the gradient, yeah, okay. This makes me more relaxed. It's less of a total mystery anyway. I'm sure that will cause problems. Why it is... Yeah, look at it. And it's white. It's not quite the right size, but... Well, 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 well. At least now what I can do is take that down. If I just take my time. Now, it does seem to have stopped working. Why was it that didn't work? Oh. No. I'm a little bit annoyed because it just didn't seem to work, and I don't know if it just happened to miss my mouse clicks, but it should never miss my mouse clicks. Well, you know, when it drops frames, it just might have been some very unlucky thing with FFmpeg, but anyway. Anyway, Okay, well, I'm getting a grey, a white square when it draws. It's not the right shape of white square, but it is a white square. Where on earth did I just end up? Here. Okay, well, this may as well go back in because it is going to have to happen. In gradient field set gradient. Gradient set. If gs equals null, I'll do this. So that bit worked, for what it's worth. Okay, this logic. Color x, color y equals 1. Okay, first off, color y minus equals step y. And here, color y equals 1. Dunno. Shouldn't really, that shouldn't crash it though. Y could be any crazy number, it should still be okay. Step x, 1 divided by step y, 1 divided by float rows. Value x, or vert x, or vert y, is 0 and 0. Where am I setting the colors? There. So I said 2. 2 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 2 times each other is 9. Oh man. Yeah, so I'm thinking this has 9 things. Well, I'm not increasing Vy. That'll help, because I wouldn't get an error. I'd just get stuck in a repeating loop. Good grief. Okay. So, the next thing. What's the next thing? Well, let's see if this works for starters. Figuring out why it's in a funny position. Well, check that out. Oops. And it's pretty damn near right. If I had to guess what was wrong with it, I'd have to say, well, one thing, it's too small. Secondly, I'd say it's not filling in the last piece. Somehow. Interesting. Because, well, not quite the last piece. Is it the last two pieces? Okay, well, there's two things, two problems. One is it's not quite right. Well, they both make it not quite right. But one, right, first off, new. You get rammed and so do you. In fact, you go away because you served your purpose. That worked fine. Now, set size. Right, I know what the problem is. It is in finish resize. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be face width minus 2.0, I think, comma, face height minus 2.0. And in here, I'm actually drawing it. No, yeah. Face width, face height, and I draw it at that position. Okay, I think that's sorted the size. I've got a weird border in there which just shouldn't be using really. Maybe I should be, I don't know. Right. That looks extremely like it, and to me it looks like the bottom right pair aren't having their colour set. All the others are. And if I had to guess, I would say that if I did this, nothing would happen, because that's okay, because I'm not updating it, but it will happen if I do that. And in fact, it would have happened if I'd done anything else to this thing. And the pressing it in works in a way that the others, oh yeah, they do work, I just don't see it. Okay, fine. So, let's think about some other problems. This bottom right pair. In set gradient. Not that set gradient, this set gradient. Oh, hang on a sec, because of the way it's counting through them. Yeah, then down Vy till Vy is greater than or equal to rows plus 1. Color Y equals, yeah, back to the top. Vy equals 0, Vx equals 0. Oops. I'm not doing another thing here. Color X plus equals step X. I need to do that. I'm forgetting to. Every time I get to the end of a column. But why would it be that the base of the last two columns, let me do a little experiment and increase the gradient button resolution to 4, 4, so 4 columns and 4 rows. Wow. Maybe I'm actually making an error in the drawing. Maybe that's more realistic, because it is like this bit gets right and then all this is wrong. But I wonder also if I can do something like this and see what I get. Yeah, it's not great, you know. It's not great just because of the way it colours it in, because of the way that way of dividing it up. You know, I can increase the resolution, I can switch the direction of the angles, but they'll always kind of be a bit like that. I wonder if there's much I can do. Like when I look at that one, it looks like it would look much better the other way. But then I think, is that just that one? And it's a shame because over here it looks really nice. But I better figure out anyway. At any rate, I better figure out why it would seem I can print out some stuff, I guess. My instinct is it has more to do with this, but I just can't quite figure out why. Oh, I think I know why. I think I actually equals Vy times columns plus 1. I think. Because it's not times columns, there's an extra, you know, it's not the columns, it's the boundary, it's what do you call it? It's like the sides of the columns. I want to decide the number of columns because that's an easy thing to imagine as the user. But I don't want to, well, the computer doesn't know about a column. Look at that, and much nicer. And let's have a look at the thing. It looks just exactly like I actually want it to. Gotta do this, but there. Call me chuffed. And I expect I will get arrangements, like I can probably see it a bit here, but I'm not too fussed. I think it's good enough. It looks it. I can add a greater amount of detail. I might probably end up removing detail, but I better make it a when the gradient editor apply button. Where are you? This copies to source. What I'll do is I'll say if draw options update gadgets. And I think that'll do it. And it shouldn't have a problem. If draw options isn't open, then nothing happens. Draw options will have its gadgets updated when it is open. Take that. Thanks. And I don't know, that's quite boring. Have one of these. Now this one will probably... Yeah, a bit, but it's not too bad. It's not like a nightmare. So now, or very soon, because I'm pleased, you know, I've been putting that off a long time, and that is 45 minutes. And it just looks right cheery. And if I close this and apply this, still fine, no problem. Because it knows, hey look, that happens, interesting. Because it knows that the thing's not open, the button doesn't exist anymore. This is all looking chunkier than I remember it. So let's see, orange here as well. Oops, orange here, and yellow here. That's a bit gone wrong. I'm going to have to fix that. Okay. And there is my beautiful gradient. And I can go to addition and lose it, and come back and get it. Okay, so I will basically stick one of these in the back of this, and it will change as this edits. And I will use the information in the gradient and the anim position to generate a pair of, well, a color and ink pair, which I will use with additional blend mode to create the preview. And I may make a little message appear on the screen whenever you close the draw mode options with the gradient button, well, with the gradient, or whenever you even select gradient. It might just say, display one of its temporary messages saying estimating current gradient colors or something like that. Approximating gradient palette, I guess. But I will do those things next time.